Hi everyone. So today, just now at 1:26 p.m., I just left the Fort Walton Beach Police Department and I was meeting the chief investigator for the medical examiner. And it was really appalling and really truly disgusting that these people have no feelings and they just want to victimize the victims. So I asked her, where is this video of the crime scene? She's telling me there's no video in the email. I asked her again. I said, where is this video? She said there is no video. I asked her again. I said, why are you telling me this? You know this is not true. You showed me the video at the NOK, which is the next of kin meeting from the medical examiner's office, which you didn't listen to a thing that I told you. But at that meeting, you showed me that crime scene video, a moment of it, and then you pointed your laptop towards me for me to see it and show me this thing that was either a bone or a tooth that I inquired about, that your stupid doctor didn't know the answer to. And then you mentioned it at the surprise meeting that I walked into, that your investigator Staley lied to me and told me that he wanted me to look at a piece of paper, and there were all these people over there telling me I don't know what I'm talking about and I just have to accept the fact that my son committed suicide, but you can't give me one answer as to how that happened. And now your video is missing and you're telling me that there's no video? And I'm telling you, I specifically asked questions about it 2 different times. One when the video was playing, and the second time at your surprise meeting when I asked you about the blood spatter and you said, why are you asking me? You watched the video. Is this what you do to people? Is this what you do? You victimize the victims and their family? Have you no heart? Have you no feeling? And what? How many people had to come with her today for her to give me this video? The video that I paid for of my son's deceased pictures, okay, that I paid for on the 16th of May. And they gave me correct files on that USB that I traveled all the way to Pensacola and had a notarized document that I had to get notarized, and give me this USB that wasn't working. Then they told me to wait over a month, and they told me they stuck it in the mail with just a stamp on it. Somebody out there has a video of my deceased son that only I was privileged to have as his mother, and now somebody out there without any authorization, without anything, is having privy to that video that this careless, disgusting, vile medical examiner's office decided to do that. And then they sent their attack dog. Yes, I'm going to call her that because that's all she does is attack. Why would you attack the mother of a victim? Why would you do that? Why would you victimize their families? Why would you do that? How many people were there with her to give me a USB? And then what? Is she trying to slap me in the face by saying, oh, well, I put in emails between us? Does she really think that I don't have copies of emails that I sent her? Really? You needed to just put something there to make it look like you put something in there, and now all of a sudden you have a report? When did you do? Write it yesterday? Come on now. I wasn't born yesterday. You guys all screwed up, and you know it. You screwed up like from the bottom of hell. And now what you're trying to do is cover your ass. That's what you're doing. Shame on you. Shame on all of you. And what? You needed to bring 2 other people with you?
And then have that officer walk in.
Yes, because I said, why are you saying that this video doesn't exist? That's not true. Why are you saying that?
Why did they have him walk in from the front door when there's probably 30 officers in the back? You can see through the windows.
Yeah.
You know, the tinted windows from the lobby, that there's plenty of officers back there. They had him pull into the parking lot out front and walk in and stand there and stare us down.
Yeah.
Why? He wasn't
intimidation.
He wasn't intimidating. He looked like he was lost.
I felt that he was standing too close to me, so I asked her that once, and I asked her, why she's telling me something that's not true, because it was specifically questioned and it was playing on her laptop once when I questioned it. So stop lying, medical examiner's office, and covering up for your mistakes. That's what you're doing. And what was the fair-skinned lady with the gold badge that was there with her and somebody else? So she
Sierra
needed
Cook.
to,
Sierra Cook.
Okay, and what was the other one's name?
Something
Willis. Okay.
Yeah.
And her name is Nieten, Nieten. Yeah. So all of these people had to come from Pensacola to bring me a USB. Meanwhile, they could just throw it in the mail with just a stamp on it and nobody knows where it is. How disgusting is that? And I've been waiting for this since May 16th, that I had to pay for this. And yes, you're going to learn all about the payments and what they do with them. Yes.
Since you had to pay for it,
Yeah.
why couldn't they send it certified mail?
Exactly. They couldn't send it certified. They didn't care if any of the stuff was confidential. I'm mad. Yes, I'm mad. And I'm hurt. And I'm
They're
angry.
incompetent. That's the word.
Why would you do
They're
this to
incompetent.
people?
They have absolutely zero empathy, no emotion, just hostility and anger. And I can't understand that.
I lost my son. Why have anger towards me? What did I do to you?
Why not show you compassion and try their best to answer the questions? Of course you have questions.
And at the
There
next
was
of
no
kin,
investigation.
yeah. And at that next of kin meeting, she's telling me, I said, well, my son's air fryer was over there on top of that counter sink thing. And she's like, oh, see, you didn't know that about your son. See, now you learned something about your son. Seriously? Seriously. And then trying to tell me I don't know my son and I don't have a relationship with him. Was anybody competent enough to look at any records of anything or ask any neighbors or anything like that? I've lived in the same house for 18 years. I mean, is there anybody that wanted to do any investigating, or was it Christmas time and everybody decided to take the time off? Do your job, people. You're hurting people. You're hurting a lot of people. Why are you doing that to people that are already hurt? You're making them pay for all of these things. And yes, guys, for the body cam footage, I had to pay, what, $725.40? Or is that the one that went up again now? Because I know it was like $34 or $38 just for a 911 tape. So you lose your child. You lose your only son. And then you got to pay like almost $800 for body cam stuff. You got to get these things notarized. And then they don't care enough about them that they just throw them in the mail with a stamp on it. No tracking, no nothing, no confidentiality. What's the point of asking me to go ahead and get things notarized and telling me I'm the only one who's allowed to have them when you just basically throw them out there for anybody to view?
And then there's the report that it looks like they just threw together. There's indiscrepancies in the report, things that contradict.
That
like,
report, yeah.
Yeah, like they just threw it together to get done with the paperwork and be done with the case.
Well, they're going to have to open it back up because none of it makes any sense. And I'm just appalled at the lack of humanity. I mean, is this somebody that's supposed to treat me and be towards me like an attack dog? Or is this somebody that's supposed to have a conscience and saying, I'm sorry you lost your son? And then keep telling me that, you don't know, you didn't live with them, you don't know what he was thinking. All these hypotheticals. Give me one damn fact of how my son could have done this to himself. There's not even a possibility in the way he was there, okay? There is no possible way that he did this to himself physically. So why are you guys pushing this stupid narrative? Are you worried about like all the tourism here that people are going to see that people were murdered? Yes, he was murdered. And I will find out that person for you because you people don't investigate. Why are you getting paid $80,000 and $100,000 and $300,000 and all this stuff a year? What are you even doing? All you're doing is being on vacation and showing up to a meeting with a mother who lost her son, covered up in tattoos, in your work uniform. Where's your work uniform? You're at work. Even if I had 100 tattoos, they wouldn't be visible at my work. That's part of my personal life, not part of my work life. There's nothing wrong with tattoos. They just don't belong in the workplace. Not if you're in this type of work. I mean, it's not even about that. It's about the lack of humanity. And just there is no humanity there. There is more like, see, I put them in 3 formats. She's sitting there in the lobby with the USB in the computer of my son's deceased pictures. And I'm like, are you going to open that in here? She goes, well, I'll just show you. It's on 3 formats. I mean, do these people need some lessons in how to behave towards human beings? How could they even have jobs in a place where people lose their loved ones and they kick them? Then they use semantics to twist their words around. So this way it shows that they're at fault. Like she sends me an email saying, oh, now we're reissuing you the USB. No. You're reissuing me the USB because your first USB had corrupt files that you couldn't open. But what about addressing the fact that I paid for this a month and a half ago and you had me waiting a month and a half and you just threw it in the mail? And it's lost. And now you chose to bring it here and then tell me you're not going to answer any questions and there's no video and you're going to lie to me to my face. But I had somebody there with me today, which you probably didn't expect, which I'm grateful for, because who knows, maybe there would have been some excuse made up of why I needed to go to jail or something. So I'm very grateful to my friend that I was not alone, because
it looked like they were setting something up.
Yeah, because where did that cop come from? And why did 3 of them have to come out to talk to me? I'm only 4'10", and I weigh about 104 pounds, 105 pounds. And why would I do anything? I'm like in pain. I don't want to hurt anybody.
And the way they come out and just go around the lobby staring at us but not saying anything. I didn't know that's who they were.
I had no idea.
I thought we were still waiting on whoever we were waiting for.
Yeah, and I was just looking around, and then I heard somebody say Farah, and I'm like, okay. And she's like, oh, I'm Chrissy. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, opens up her laptop, and I'm like, you're going to do this here in the lobby? I don't know. Am I the only one? Guys, please, just give me your point of view on all of this. Where is the humanity in people? I'm just so heartbroken. I just can't even begin to express that she's lying to me to my face. You saw when I asked her, I said, why are you telling me this? You know this is not true.
She would not look at you when she answered you.
You're right. And I said, I didn't call her a liar. But I asked her, I said, this is not true. Because I specifically asked you questions.
Yeah.
And it was on there one time. You had it on there. When I asked you, what was that? Is that a tooth or a bone? And you showed it to me. And you showed me the video.
And you said that she said that they didn't know what it was.
She said, I don't know what it is. Did you even collect it? I'm not sure what's wrong with these people. But look, everybody needs to know about this. Everybody needs to know about this. I just left there, and I'm going to put this video up there today for all of you to see. What this medical examiner, now keep in mind, there's only one chief medical examiner, Deanna Oleski, and then there's 4 assistant medical examiners. Okay? And those 4 assistant medical examiners cover 4 counties. Santa Rosa, Escambia, Okaloosa, is it Walton, I think?
Yeah.
And, yeah. So, it covers 4 counties. And what? Do they not want to do their job? They don't need to do their job. They can go get a different job if they don't like it. I lost my son. I didn't do anything to them. I just want some answers. And they don't want to give me any answers because it looks like everybody was on Christmas vacation. And nobody came till after Christmas vacation to do some of the work that they needed to do. So you neglect your job, you don't do your job, and I question you about it because I lost my only son. He was my whole world. He was my everything. And I have a right to ask what happened to him. You didn't do your job. You made your mistakes. You need to be held accountable. You don't need to punish me for asking questions about what happened to my son.
Exactly.
This is disgusting. This is disgusting. This is shameful. You put everybody in that job position everywhere in the United States to look at you and just be disgusted at your behavior. I'm sure that there cannot be this many vile people with no heart, so heartless. You know what? That's really what I need to tell everybody about you guys. really just tell them exactly what you did to me and let everybody else, please guys, comment on this. I want to know what you think.